Crisis in Botswana, friends, as the country there declares a public health emergency after the medicines run out. The government making some really poor choices, and the people are suffering for it. We got that and a whole bunch of other news updates and reports coming from you guys this Tuesday. This is another Watchmen update. We got other stories like the New World screwworm has now appeared. We have a positive case inside the United States. They were trying to keep it in southern Mexico, keep it away from our cow herds. We have a confirmed case inside the U.S. we need to talk about. We got a report on food conditions in Sweden from one of our watchmen. We got cashless bail going to be banned. That's going to be a big one right there. The U.S. Department of War is going to be formed. This just announced. And we got a personal note from me to you all. I got to bring you up to speed on a few things and let you guys know what's kind of going on with me. But without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade. And these are your updates that you guys are sending in from all over. If you have something to share, make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. That gets it to the right place. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They help people who have retirement accounts. If you have a IRA or 401k and you want to get into physical precious metals, not the promise of metals, but actual physical metals. You can do that in your IRA or 401k. Jonathan and his team can walk you through it, explain everything to you, and you can decide if it's a good fit for you and your family. There'll be a link at the end of the video if you'd like to find out more. You can always reach out to Genesis Gold Group. Make sure you type all of that into Google and reach out to them directly. Just make sure you mention this channel because they do waive your setup fee for members of this channel. And they also are giving out a book right now to members of this channel, Gold and the Bible. So if you want that free book as well, make sure you mention this channel. All right, personal note. Sorry. I've been a little bit distracted. Some of you guys have noticed, and creating videos at all hours of the day. Sorry about that. I've been a little inconsistent. Haven't introduced you guys to my fiance yet. I know a whole bunch of you are eager to meet her. So I will do that shortly. We've been super busy with visiting family, party, trying to get as much planned for our upcoming wedding before I go back to the States. Once I go back to the States, it's going to be a lot harder to plan for the wedding. So we got that. And I will put together a video of a little bit of our story, hopefully for tomorrow afternoon. It'll be our story a little bit, my story, kind of how I ended up in the Philippines a little bit, and kind of why some of you that might make sense for as well. I'll walk you through that. A bunch of you following a similar path. A number of you reached out to me and said, hey, we already are in the Philippines, or I am in the process of moving to the Philippines. So, just the idea of having options of where you live might be one of the best ways to avoid or survive a crisis. It's just not being there, right? So watch out for that video, hopefully coming out tomorrow. President Trump has suggested that ABC and NBC and maybe some other networks should lose their broadcast licenses over negative coverage of him because it's political coverage or very anti-Trump or anti-Republican coverage. There's a lot of laws on the books from the FCC that and from Congress that networks are not allowed to be political, and yet they continue to be very much so. Elon Musk and his companies have launched a lawsuit of Apple and OpenAI, alleging that they have engaged in anti-competitive schemes, and this is a monopolistic type behavior, blocking out any other artificial intelligence companies out there from competing on iPhones, iPads, all that kind of stuff. All right, Botswana, a country that you may have trouble picking out on a map. It's in southern Africa, has declared a public health emergency yesterday on Monday after hospitals ran out of essential medicines due to depleted government coffers and steep cuts in U.S. aid. So basically, they were dependent upon the United States to buy the medicine. And now that the United States government is not buying medicine for a country that most Americans have trouble picking out on a map, that country is now in crisis mode. The diamond-rich Southern African country has relied heavily on mining to fuel its economy, but faces persistent challenges that have eaten into the gem revenue. Well, diamond prices have gone down a lot because diamonds are one big scam. De Beers and such, they just buy up lots and lots of diamonds, hoard the diamonds, and then they only let a few of the diamonds out. It's why you can get industrial diamonds for relatively cheap, and yet gem diamonds are so expensive. Are they made of different stuff? Nope. They just take regular diamonds and crush them or break them up into smaller pieces so that they can use them for industrial purposes, and you end up paying a lot less for them. So if you can do that, anyway, one scam at a time, shall we? Let's back to Botswana's scam, leaving most of its 2.5 million people grappling with unemployment and high poverty rates. President Duma Boko said in a televised address on Monday that the country's medical supply chain has failed. They could try free market, like capitalism, but anyway. They've announced an over $18 million emergency fund to restock clinics and hospitals, which is a drop in the bucket. And the idea that they have to pay for it themselves now instead of just getting the United States government to pay for them is crazy. Speaking of the United States, President Trump has signed an order ending cashless bail for Washington, D.C. and other cities, and leveraging on those other cities by withholding funds to cities that don't comply. They have been releasing violent crimes suspects back onto the street with no bail, and it's just flat out insane. It will bring, the executive order directs the administration to take certain actions if the city does not change its cashless bail policy. This is Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, including the consequences, federal funding decisions, services, or approvals. If cities or states refuse to comply with basic public order, they shouldn't be getting federal money. The president has also fired Fed Governor Lisa Cook. We talked about this before. That was the threat. Now it has happened. Being fired for felony bank fraud. Now, I know technically all of the governors of the Federal Reserve are committing bank fraud, but, she did it like on her personal stuff more than most. And of course, there's a whole bunch of people out there super upset and butthurt that a criminal is not allowed to be running the Federal Reserve. So long, Lisa Cook. Good luck, on food stamps. The president has proposed a truthful change. I think that we can all agree is a little more accurate. Rolling back the name of the U.S. Armed Forces from the Defense Department, which the United States military just doesn't do, to its original name, the Department of War, which I think we can agree, given our recent history, is a much more accurate name. Okay, sure, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor once, but we weren't really defending the United States after that. We were mostly punishing the Japanese, making sure it never happens again. And then we jumped in and attacked Germany for reasons there too. But the United States wasn't attacked by Germany. So anyway, the United States wasn't attacked by Vietnam as much as they'd like to tell you we were. Go back through it. Iraq didn't really attack the United States. Afghanistan, they had some people in Afghanistan that attacked the United States. You just go back through the wars, and it's like, did they actually attack the United States? Were they really threatening to attack again? Sometimes a little bit, but most of the time, Not quite. I mean, Syria didn't attack us, but yet we've occupied their country for how many years? And their oil fields? Check the oil button. I mean, there was oil there, so it made sense that the War Department was there as well. All right, we have the first human case in the United States of the New World screwworm. Now, human cases are not what we're most concerned about. We are most concerned about, of course, the threat to livestock. It is very painful when humans have the case. Basically, the insects burrow into your skin, lay eggs under your skin, and when they hatch, they basically eat you, which is horrible, but it's very treatable, right? You go to the hospital with that, they can treat it. It's painful. You'll survive, as long as it's not super advanced. However, it's super contagious between livestock and livestock. When they bite a cow, plant their eggs under them, they got a lot to eat. And so they create a lot of screwworm flies that can then attack all the other cattle. So they've been trying to keep it south of, into southern Mexico or south of there. We've been hoping that it doesn't get to the United States because it will even more devastate the cattle industry. This case was someone who had recently traveled to El Salvador and had come to the United States, was being examined by the Maryland Department of Health and U.S. Can you imagine that it was a blue state where somebody happened to have screwworm? I know it's a surprise to us all. The United States has also suspended the license for, let me see if I can get this right, chikungunya vaccine. So suspended the license for that poke, reporting serious side effects. The suspension of the license is effective immediately. The FDA ordered this cited 4 additional cases in addition to the other one due to serious side effects, 3 of which involve people between the age of 70 and 82, but still not safe for human consumption. President Trump has decreed that he will crack down on flag burning, has signed an executive order against the desecration of the American flag, including burning it, mandating that they face prosecution, saying, quote, if you burn an American flag, you get 1 year in jail. So I have to say this. I hate people desecrating the American flag. I think that if you don't like the American flag, if you don't like the United States, you should leave. There's the door. Go. Pack your stuff. Go. But on the other hand, it is a freedom of speech issue, and the idea that you can't protest the United States government, if things got so bad where we were really, really upset, we can maybe think of an administration or two that we've had in our days where we started thinking about protesting that way maybe. I know a whole bunch of people on this platform and in our circles were flying the American flag upside down because they were very upset with what happened a few years ago. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Do you think criminalizing the desecration of the American flag is a good thing or a bad thing? I have to say I'm a little mixed. I think that you shouldn't be doing that, but on the other hand, should we be banning a form of speech? I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments. All right, this is from Frederick in Sweden. We don't get too many reports from up there, but let's hear what's going on over in Sweden and see if it matches up what we're seeing in the United States. 165,000 chickens euthanized after several food chains found salmonella in the eggs originating from the same farm. So they just kind of, not bird flu anymore, now it's salmonella. Also here, fall has arrived 2 to 3 weeks before it should have arrived. It's just cold up there in Sweden, generally speaking. It was according to the SMHI Institute. It's windy and a lot of warnings about forest fires in the whole of the country. If you dig in the ground, it's bone dry. It was a cool start to the summer, then super hot, and now it's cold again. A short summer. Here, the eggshells are easily cracked if you touch them, but they're not cracked in the store as you see them. We buy local eggs from the farm directly. Now that probably means they're not getting enough calcium. That's fairly easy to rectify, but that could be what's going on your farm, just not feeding enough calcium. Or maybe they're cutting corners, I don't know. Maybe the chickens are just lazy to eat the calcium. Anyway, in the beginning of the summer, there were a super lot of mosquitoes. During the summer, nothing. And now, nothing. No mosquitoes. A lot of wasps, some butterflies, less I would say than normal. Lots of bumblebees on the cucumbers and marigolds in the garden. Lots of small birds and squirrels here. Okay, so in Sweden, not seeing the same things necessarily as the United States, but seeing some interesting differences though. From the can situation, speaking of canned goods, the cans do need to be checked. I just bought 3 to 4 cans of corn from the local co-op with all the labels on them like Co-op, Anglemark, Eco, Svanen, Krav. Thank you for testing my pronunciations. Good for the environment, and also half of the can was black. So that's not good. I guess that you just can't buy stuff and put them away for a rainy day without checking them if they're okay anymore. You do need to check your cans, friends. If you buy a bunch to stock up on, make sure you open a couple of them to test them. Make sure you like the food and make sure that that they're decent quality. Kim says in Southern California, every year our backyard is buzzing with sparrows in the backyard. They always build nests in the eaves and thrive. Many crows are in the front yard. Unfortunately, this year there are no sparrows and no crows. Nothing grows in the garden. It's sad, and it's becoming like a dead zone. Much more serious in the United States, right? SGM Phil says, North Georgia. We still have a few squirrels, but I have definitely noticed a shortage of insects. Almost no flies, mosquitoes, or Asian beetles. Very few bees. This is not normal for this area. Brenda says, several areas out of electricity services in Arizona. We have an ETA of over 12 hours with temperatures in the hundreds, and it's sizzling here. Todd says, as of today, there is no bone-in chicken in any grocery store around here, and I went to 3 big ones here in Grand Rapids. Very odd for none of them to have any bone-in hams, not bone-in chickens, not boneless chicken. They got plenty of that apparently. Insurance in Michigan is going up for the very first, on the very first of the year, 21%. That's a pretty big jump. For a 2% inflation rate. Yeah, anyway. A bill has been passed and approved by the legislature to this effect. As of the 1st of January, there'll be a 31% increase in the cost of electricity as well. Why? Because the House and the Senate here, as well as the governor, are living the green dream and closing all of the coal and gas-fired power plants that produce power without any replacements built. There are also talks of brownouts in power if there are any more closed. So how do they decrease the amount of electricity people use? Well, it's very simple. You just increase the cost of electricity. While that is sort of a capitalistic solution, it's a very cynical and evil use of the capitalistic system to do that. Not good at all. You're creating a false shortage and refusing to allow anyone to fill that shortage. It's monopolistic and it's abusive. Coming into the winter with this type of situation is a bad idea. Speaking of the weather, Rhonda says, if you notice that the sun is now burning hot on every cooler day, you're not imagining it. My tomato plants were suffering again for this year under the hot sun, so I moved them into the shade. Tomatoes normally love the heat and sunshine, but not anymore. Something wrong with the sun. Eyes Wide says, Tacoma State, I received a breaking news update that our post office service was going to be stopped until further notice. Yikes. Post office is closing, weather changes, certain changes to the ecosystems, availability issues. All right, friends, thanks so much for stopping by and being part of the Watchmen community as well. Keep your reports coming in. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold Group, there's a link right there on the screen. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. And like I said, check out tomorrow afternoon. I will have some pictures and give you kind of a bit of the story of the situation here in the Philippines and with me. You can see what that's all about. All right, friends, thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.